welcome to today's video. As you can probably see, I've got a new piercing and I've had it for over 3 weeks now. I've got my Medusa done. I've also heard it be called a philtrum piercing. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. So for today's video I thought I could talk about getting it done, the aftercare and just my general thoughts on it. A little disclaimer is that I'm not a professional piercer. Anything that I tell you in this video is from my piercer. They're just going to be opinions of my own. Also, if you're not a fan of piercings, please do not leave any negative comments. I'm happy to hear your views on it, but I'm not going to get into an argument about it because at the end of the day it's all about opinions. So let's talk about my new Medusa piercing. It was quite a spontaneous piercing. My friend kind of messaged me one night and said that she wanted to get some piercings herself and asked if I'd come along with her, and I thought, why not get a piercing of my own at the same time, because I have wanted to get some more piercings. I was really torn between getting my Medusa done or getting an industrial piercing, which is like the top of the ear, and the reason that those were my two choices was because I was really terrified about getting my Medusa pierced. I was so worried about it scarring because obviously it's such a prominent place on the face. If it scars really badly it's going to be so noticeable. So I kind of didn't decide properly until I actually left the house to go to the piercing place. At the time I didn't even think to record a little vlog or anything, but I'm so glad that I didn't because I was such a wuss. I was sat at the end of this bench thing and the piercer put a clamp on my upper lip and then she sprayed it, which I think was a spray in order to freeze the lip. And honestly, the spray hurt more than the piercing itself. It was stinging so much and my mouth instinctively started watering and I couldn't swallow and I couldn't close my mouth. So I was drooling on this poor woman who was luckily wearing gloves. And then after she used the spray came the actual piercing. And I'm not gonna lie, it is the worst piercing that I've got so far. But saying that, I have only had my septum done and I've also had my ears pierced and then stretched, like as you can see. I'm at 16mm right now. The reason I'm wearing Halloween plugs is because I have lost one of all my other plugs. So it was either this or odd plugs, which I'm never gonna do. Because I have been interested in a Medusa piercing, this is gonna sound really stupid, I would often like pinch my upper lip to test how painful it was, and even doing that would like make my eyes sting a little bit. So you can imagine that actually getting a hole pierced through my lip would make that a lot worse. And it did! My eyes filled up with water so quickly and it looked like I was crying, and my friend and the piercer, bless them, were like, "Are you okay?" I couldn't reply properly because I just had a hole pierced through my lip, so I was just kind of like, yeah. The placement of it is perfect for me. The piercer beforehand would put like a marker dot on where she was going to pierce it and asked if it was okay. So after I'd had it done, it was stinging and my lip was bright red. I might be able to insert some pictures in. I remember taking this one photo right after I'd had it done and I look like I'm dying in it, I really do. I'm sorry for how I look in that one. And I also took a Snapchat of it, and because it was so red I didn't want people to see that, so I put a filter on. So if I put that one up, bear in mind that it's got a filter on it and it was actually a lot more red. Looking in the viewfinder I feel like I'm really bright currently. I'm just gonna have a quick go of adjusting that. Okay, I think I've done a dramatic change, so I'm very sorry about that. Oh, I feel like I'm too dark now. You can see the piercing and that's what this video is about. So after we'd had it pierced, we hung around a little bit and the piercer was really nice. She gave us both a vitamin C tablet. That was to help sugar get back into our body and whatever. I don't know the technicalities. I think having a nice piercer is really important sometimes, especially with piercings that you're worried about, because she really helped me be solid in my decision of getting the Medusa piercing, and she was just really nice to talk to and everything. So if you are worried about piercings, a bit of personal advice is to find a piercer you're comfortable with. When we left the piercing place, we went straight to Wetherspoons. I didn't think about it at the time, but in hindsight, I don't think that was a well thought out decision for me, the one getting the lip piercing. I ended up getting a wrap, so eating it, I'd had to have my mouth like really wide open, and I instantly realised how irritated my piercing would get if I opened my mouth too wide. There's probably going to be a lot of sexual innuendos that can be made from what I'm about to say, and I'm sorry. Opening my mouth really wide irritated my piercing, it made it sting a little bit. Not to the point where I couldn't eat. Not that I would let it stop me from eating food. But apart from that, I haven't really had massive difficulties with eating. With drinking, I haven't been able to, like, sexual innuendo time, I haven't been able to put a bottle all the way around my lips. I've had to kind of pour it in because tensing my upper lip has irritated it and made it hurt. The redness was really quite strong for a good few days. I did end up going out 5 days after I had it pierced, and I put makeup on, and my friend said that it didn't look quite as red. Obviously I didn't get makeup right into the piercing because it can get infected. There was one night that I went out that really made it a lot worse. I didn't have any infections or anything throughout the healing, but there was one night I went out that really took its toll on the piercing. I feel like I'm really dark right now, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry that I have to keep editing the lighting settings on my camera. I'm using natural light to film, and in England, whether the sun will stay out or not is completely unpredictable. So the night I went out and I had all the makeup on and I was drinking and stuff, I think the biggest error that I made was that I was too drunk to take the makeup off. So I woke up the next day, and when I did take it off, and even the cupid's bow of my lip was bright red. I was really worried about it and that I'd completely ruined my piercing, but luckily it went down pretty quickly and it wasn't infected because there was no like gunk coming out or anything, which is the telltale sign of a piercing being infected. For Aftercare, my piercer told me to use a salt gargle twice a day. So I would like put the kettle on, the hotter the water is, the more it will sterilise. And then I'd leave the water until it was as hot as I could take and do a salt gargle. But I'd also use a Q-tip and dip it in the salt water and go in my piercing and stuff, like on the outside, around the skin, and even underneath in my lip. It goes all the way through your lip, so it was like touching my gums and teeth and stuff. So in terms of aftercare, I didn't really have to buy anything extra. And there's my dog. Something that I experienced that I really did not think I would is I got a lot of dry skin around the piercing. I went online and turned out that a lot of people had experienced this, and some people had said that you experience it if you're allergic to the metal that the piercing is made of. I tried putting a bit of Vaseline on with a Q-tip and that didn't really seem to help. And something that I did, which probably people would not recommend, is I used a dry skin cream and I would like swab the area with the dry skin, not touching the piercing obviously. And in all honesty, it did work, it did help. So there's a little tip for you. But don't forget, I'm not a professional piercer. I'd say after about 2 weeks, I didn't really have much swelling, if any. And even though that was good, because the piercing was so long, it would keep hooking on the bottom of my teeth when I'd eat or talk. And sometimes this would be a bit painful, but most of the time it wasn't. It was just irritating. But I went back and had a smaller bar put in, which is what I've got on now. I can't feel it against my teeth, I can't feel it against my gums. This one does not hurt. I can move it around and stuff. I can only feel it a little bit. I'm like that. I'm like doing the nose thing from Bewitched. I think I've talked about everything that I can about my piercing so far. I'm really happy with how it turned out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a little section. I'm going to wipe away some of the makeup that I've got on now around my piercing, and I'm going to show you it up close, show you what my piercing's like, and I'll show you underneath my lip as well. So if you are a bit squeamish, just skip ahead for this part. I've wiped away the majority of my makeup around my piercing and under my nose. As you can tell, I suffer from redness incredibly badly. This is your last chance to skip the video. It's gonna get pretty gross. I have just wiped away my makeup, so I have been tugging at my skin, which is why it's a bit red. I apologise for my skin deeply. I hate it. That's what it looks like on the outside. If I push my lip against my gums, then it'll stick out the piercing a little bit and you can see how long it is. Whereas before, it would like come out to here. That's where it is underneath. It's really not an inconvenience or anything. It doesn't get in the way when I talk anymore. And eating is perfectly fine, which is what I'm more concerned about. Back to before filming Emma. So yeah, that's my new piercing. I'm really happy with it. I hope you guys like it as well, because you're going to be seeing it in videos from now on. A little extra thing that I just want to say is the shirt that I'm wearing. I'll just stand up for you. This is a band shirt and the band is called These Wicked Rivers. They're a rock blues kind of band and I've seen them twice now and I think their music is amazing and I think their design for this shirt is amazing. I hate it when I see bands that I like and I think their merch is ugly. Like, I know that if I'm a true fan that I should wear it anyway, so I'll leave their Facebook in the description. And they're also on Spotify, so check them out there. And I think that is it. Let me know what piercings you have or what piercings you want to have. Or if you've got a Medusa piercing, let me know your experience of it. Thank you guys so much for watching and I will see you in the future. Goodbye!